So welcome everyone to the 7th Community Forum on Storage Technologies and Data Management of the hpc-ch, the Swiss HPC service provider community. So I suppose everyone knows me, but otherwise my name is Michele Lorenzi. Most of you we met yesterday evening. We had hope also for you a nice dinner. It's at 7 in Lugano. And we have been welcomed by very nice weather and very nice sunset. And I hope that everyone did recover from the dinner and the people arriving directly. We didn't lost anyone in the casino, just behind the place where we have been. And the other people that arrived now directly also welcome them here. So it's our pleasure to welcome you here also, not only to the community forum, but also to CSCS, the Swiss National Supercomputing Center. During the day, we will also have the possibility to have a visit, have a site visit, and to present very shortly what we are doing. Now, I will start the presentation, giving an overview of what we will do today. And this is a hpc-ch community. We always have new people joining us for the first time. Just see here in the first row, some people joining for the first time. We also like to repeat what's the goal of this community and what are the rules of the community. I am using a microphone for two reasons. First of all, that people, Simon can hear me in the back, and Sofiane also, but also we are also taping the presentation. So I will ask at the end if the people that gave the presentation are willing to put them online or not. If you say no, then we'll not be part of the big data. If you say yes, then we'll be part of big data we are collecting in our universities and contributing to the petabyte of storage we are managing. But so it's up to you, and please give the feedback. No problem if you say no. And this is also no problem if you say no, because it's also the goal of this community. On one side, we want really to present in a very open way topics, things to colleagues. And that's why maybe you are in your presentation some elements you don't want that everybody knows about it. So back to the hpc-ch. So which is the 17. This is a lot. Very old age. We are getting 1 year, we will be maggiorenni, I don't know in English. We are meeting, so, and really this community developed over the years. Now it's always nice to see between 30 and 50 people attending these meetings. And the goal of the community to support and foster the knowledge exchange between providers of HPC systems in Swiss universities. We started with academic focus. We are still very academic oriented, but we have also representatives from industry, and this means also that HPC is not just about science, but also about industry, and is being used in the real world. That's you are representing these different communities. What we do, we want to really to know the offering and organization of other Swiss HPC providers. All of us are working for HPC in different aspects, and it's important to know what everyone in Switzerland is doing. We are a small nation, but that's why we should also, we have a chance to understand what our colleagues are doing. We want to exchange best practices, and this is typically in these forums here where everyone presents his reality. I have, every time we start a new forum and we ask for participation, someone tells me, but look, we have a small solution, it's not something huge or something very particular. And my answer is, every feedback is important. Everyone has a different reality. We can learn from each other. We have people, for an example, for him, below 20 petabytes is not interesting enough. And for other people which are managing 10 terabytes is an important. And we can really learn from each other what we are doing, and that is really what I like here. coordinate activities and discuss development in HPC, what we are doing today. So we have different communication channels. On one side, we have www.hpc-ch.org, which is a blog. There are not so many articles, but you find from time to time interesting informations. We have a newsletter where we send a couple of times per year information. Now I've seen when you registered, there was a question, do you want to receive information about the community? Now, to make clear what the rules are, because it's the only way we can reach you. The people which are have been already in the newsletter, then still receive the newsletter, even if you answered no when you registered. People that are not in the newsletter are coming for the first time here. If you want still to receive nice emails from Raluca a couple of times a year where we announce new topics, then you have to tell, yes, please put me in this distribution list. And I would say with exception, one person, everyone answered no. So if this means if you don't go to Raluca during one break, you will not receive any additional information about hpc-ch and what we are doing. So you can still change your mind and register and tell me or Raluca to put you in this distribution list. We make sure we are not sending too many emails. We have also Twitter, where we post some information. We have a YouTube channel where we will put what happened today, and these forums twice a year. And then we have a booth, community booth at two important conferences. One is the ISC, International Supercomputing Conference, taking place in Germany, and the second one at the Supercomputing. We will go now in November. So this is the longer list about topics we are handling. The only thing that I see every couple of years is the topic related to storage and storage technologies and issues related to storage. So I say every time we select at the end of the year new topics, say, oh, not again storage. But this means that it's an important topic, and it's really a challenging topic for the community. So HPC, be able to compute, to do simulations, is intrinsically related to ability to store data, and this since the beginning. That's why this is a leitmotif. This year, I want maybe this year we had already once, we were in Lausanne by the colleagues of Vital IT, was about the management and security of sensitive HPC data. So you see it was also related to data, a different aspect. And so we don't go through all the list. I will let Stefano introduce this part, but about the agenda first, then we go back a couple of slides. So we had the registration, the introduction. We have to be fast. So we have typically, when we go to a topic forum, we have the hosting organization giving us the chance to give a keynote presentation, which is a little bit longer. Now you are at ETH Zurich/CSCS, so you will get a presentation by ETH Zurich and CSCS, so you get two presentations. This is the advantage of being at our side. So I'm very happy that the colleagues of ETH Zurich, Katharina and Henry, will give a presentation about research data management at ETH Zurich, covering the data life cycle from planning to publication. And you are really more scientists, so you are, I know now you are coming from chemistry, pharmacy, and your background? Neuroscience, so you see. And then we have the second point of view, which is more technical one, which is Mario Valle. Mario, you are also a scientist, but more an engineer. And so we are bringing our point of view of CSCS about permanent identifier. Your data deserves a permanent identifier. Then we will have the shorter presentation by the members. So we have Xavier, a presentation about data storage management and access evolution, a glimpse into the future. I like to see the future when it's coming also from CERN. They created the future we are living today. We will have lunch and networking, which is an important time And then we go to two additional short presentation by Diego from ETH Zurich about simplified multi-tenant for data-driven personalized health research. And even the dinner yesterday, I've heard that health activities, like in the last topic forum, are very important. What does it mean to keep data in this field? And then we will have EPFL with Yves about BGPFS, the HPC storage solution adopted at the Geneva Observatory. Then there is an important part which is related to community development. What we will do then is to prepare the plan next year, what activity should be of next year. This will be the post-it time, so everyone will be asked. Maybe I will start after lunch distributing some post-its so that you can write ideas. What should we discuss next year? And then we will select two topics. We will select two universities. So if it's important that you as organization to be able to ask us. I already heard something from Basel and maybe VSL, but let's double check, make sure that we have two places to go next year and to host the colleagues. And then we have a coffee break, and then we will have the chance to visit CSCS. We will have Ladina Gilli, who is in charge of the facility management of this building, to present how the infrastructure looks like. And then we will have a walkthrough through the building, and then Stefano will show you all the disks he's managing and also tape he's managing as usual, but that is part of the fun. So I'm finished with my part of the introduction. I would like to ask Stefano, first of all, to tell what the motivation was for the topic, and then to give his short presentation as introduction. Yeah. Thank you very much.
So I'll start from this slide. I introduce myself, Stefano Gorini, and I'm the group lead managing all the storage at CSCS. This is why I'm kind of chairman here. So Michele and Raluca asked me to put some initial consideration to start discussing about storage, and I think it's kind of natural. Then I will show you a short presentation of a journey into the petabyte experience of CSCS, starting from 2009 when this event started, and what we have now, what we had at that time, and what was the problem. And when we had to go through all this journey, we had to have in mind always the impact you have on the user and also on the sysadmin. I also like to make life of my guys much easier than rather than complicate their life. Then now we are going into what Mario will show. So here to help the user, so persistent identifier, what does it mean? And would be nice to have a feedback from you, because we have a view from the service provider point of view, and would be nice to see if what Mario will tell you makes sense, you need or not. So give feedback to Mario, he will be more than happy, I'm pretty sure. And then another topic we have is I call it legacy storage against the new era that is cloud. How everyone is handling it. We have our own approach, but would be nice then to discuss. I'm putting this on the table, not really for the presentation, but lunchtime is a nice time to have discussion. So share between all of us, then if you want to raise the topic, it would be nice to know. And then obviously, you have security as well. And security is a real challenge when you distribute and you go to the cloud especially. That's our, actually probably is the main challenge we have now. How to merge the new world with the security and make our users' data safe enough that they are not exposed too much, but accessible at the same time. That is a real request we get. So give me a second, I'll change this. Here we are. So I call it a journey into P. Let's see if it works. Yes, it works. So I made really few slides because I want to be quick. So here is what we typically publish, and it's very, very well known about CSCS. So which kind of machine we had, but with each machine we always had some storage attached. So here you have the evolution of the scratch. Here you see the size of the first scratch in 2009 for Monte Rosa. That was the flagship machine at that time, and the increase we had. So from was a little bit less than alpha petabyte. I rounded it to alpha petabyte, was 400 something. And now we have more than 10, 11 and something petabytes, divided in two file systems in order to be reliable when we do upgrades and don't remove data from our user. So it's a consistent growth that we had. And if you compare these to what you have as parallel storage, typically to a scratch, so where you want to keep your data for project and live with your data and keep it for a long time, where you will want maybe to introduce persistent identifier. And here you see also that we changed a bit the technology, especially was a huge change from some FS approach and HSM to something that is more archive, backup, and HSM at the same time. And we did a little step here, but then if you go up to today, especially on the tapes, so the number is on the bottom here, is related to tapes. Here we had a huge jump, and this is related to some project we are doing with the PSI guys, so the Paul Sherrod Institute. And so experiments are coming with new technology, and they are producing tons of data, and they want to keep them. So this is the scale we had at the start, and this is what we have now. This is compared to the Scratch. So Scratch is more or less following what you have online here. So this means you want to have project data always in a reasonable trend that the same one you have on Scratch, but then you may, it looks like you want to save a little bit more on tape because you don't know reproducibility and the others. So this is when I collected the number, I found it kind of nice to see that the storage here was similar. Then we had a jump, and we were a little bit detached, but as soon as we realized that the Scratch was too small, we made the jump to make it aligned to the project part. And this was a kind of strategy decision from the director that is driven by users. So actually, the user were asking for that. And this is more or less what I wanted to change. Here, I'm just showing that we have the persistent storage using IBM GPFS, and they changed the name, and now they have a complete suite that has also the tape part. So it's just different name, but the same thing. And here it's funny. Here you see, so the red line is what user asks and think he needs. In green, you have what you really use over time. So sometimes the expectation of a user is completely detached from reality, because this is the evolution from 2017. So for basically 1 year, and you see that the usage is more or less the same. They were asking a lot that we had some kind of helping the user, training, making their expectation more realistic, and then has been adjusted. And here you have what we typically buy. So we don't try to follow always what the user asks, because otherwise we go bankrupt. But it's true that we need to be close enough. So as long as you train a bit your user to ask for really what they need, then you can stay close and take a little risk. If they really come to the 100% of usage, you can go there. But this is a clear picture that is telling you that what we see is completely different from what the user really wants. It's like when you go for dinner, you want to eat the whole restaurant, and then you have a dish. So, and